Hey y'all, it's Kira,
John,
Rachel,
Caitlin,
Dave,
Hunter,
Jake,
Clara, and you're listening to the
Peercast,
featuring the BA reps.
your one-stop shop for everything UMTAD.
Hey y'all, guess what?
I'm back. It's me. I know y'all are sad because it's not Rachel, but I am here again. I was listening to it and I was like, honestly, Rachel could just do it. She's popping off.
It was fun. Like, Rachel's so great. But we're glad you're back too. We missed ya.
Oh,
And all the
love you
riffing.
all.
All the riffing. So today it is snowing all day. LOL.
Yeah, it's not it. I'm actually really sad. Like, I woke up and I looked outside and I was like, is this really how it goes? Like,
Yeah.
Is this really how we're gonna be?
I mean, after that first storm, I was like, oh, it'll all melt. But it's just doing its thing again today.
It's just not gonna melt. It's just not gonna melt.
Well,
Halloween in the snow 2.0.
gotta love it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make the best of it regardless. But okay, we're going to throw you some super neat, super awesome, super informative UMTAD updates your way.
Yes, we are. Get hyped, y'all. All right, here we go. We're going to start it right here. All right. So, first up, HECUBA auditions for the BA happening today and tomorrow. Make sure that you check those out. Go to z.umn.edu/HECUBA_auditions for more information. But you can go ahead and sign up for that slot there, and then make sure that you have a tragedy monologue of your choice. So maybe it's something about like kings or something as I wear my crown. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. So something we just want to put on your radar, podcast listeners, is another podcast. And so it's called Flip the Script, The Great Divide, the Fourth in Roman numerals. So like IV. And so these are audio plays that are coming from the Pillsbury House. And especially why we want to send them your way is because Andrea Reynolds, otherwise known as Queen Drea from the dance department,
Yes.
is the composer for the series, which is really cool. And so Queen Drea, she's the one, if you've ever been to a Frameworks in the past, 2 or 3 years, she has this beautiful music that she loops, and it's really all her voice, and it's really, really beautiful. It's really cool. So check it out. But so Flip the Script. Each year since 2017, the Pillsbury House Theater has commissioned 5 playwrights to produce 10-minute plays tackling the growing political divide in America. And this year, for the 4th and final installment, 5 previous Great Divide playwrights have been invited back to write a new piece to accompany their earlier play. So the series will be released in 5 parts, with each episode featuring 2 plays by one playwright, by juxtaposing playwrights' earlier works with the pieces within the election year this year. So it's a powerful examination of the past, present, and future of our political landscape. And you can find that anywhere you find your pods. I just found it on Apple Pods earlier this week, and it's really neat. Check it out.
Yes, indeed. All right. So, next up, we're going to talk a little bit about a virtual performance from Kim Long-hee's The Combustible Company.
Woot woot.
Really cool. So they are directing Selma 65 and Missing Mississippi Moons, a stream duet of solo performances combining Missing Mississippi Moons, written by Antonio Duke, who is a BFA acting alum from the class of 2017, as well as Selma 65 by Catherine Fillot. So this production by the Combustible Company in Vegas Theater, both plays are going to be presented together until this Friday. So they've been running since October 23rd and will end on the 30th. And then make sure you can go check that out on BroadwayOnDemand.com. Tickets will be as low as $5. And the Missing Mississippi Moons is about a mosaic of characters invoked through ritual and ancestral heritage, struggling to find their power in the time of Jim Crow. Framed by the epic flood of 1927 in Greenville, Mississippi, Edward Ashe comes home to bury his father, Jake. As he remembers working with his father to carve out his community's escape, he finds himself at the intersection of grief, racial violence, and hope. Fast forward 18 years and meets white civil rights leader Viola Liuzzo in Selma 65. While driving fellow marchers home, she was pursued, shot, and killed by the Ku Klux Klan. Embedded with the Klan and the first-hand witness to her murder was Gary Tommy Rowe, an undercover FBI informant. In playwright Catherine Fillow's reimagining, Viola and Tommy's story collide in a violent encounter that examines the soul of white America. And so Talbot moderated a Zoom conversation with both of the playwrights the night before opening last week. So if you had the opportunity to check that out, that was super fun, super lovely. But go ahead and make sure that you're going ahead and you're supporting Kim, seeing the work that she's doing. Make those in-school connections, y'all. Our faculty pop off. They do so many wonderful things. So make sure that you are going to see their work, as well as maybe getting involved with their work too. Like, they're super fun to work with. So definitely do that.
Yeah, and I think almost everyone on faculty here, at least in the BA, I'm sure this reaches into dance and BFA too, has a company that they work with. I mean, there's, Laverne with Side Host Theater and Kim and Lisa have theirs. It's so cool. And what a great avenue into work when you already have those connections built. So we would just encourage you to, while you're in school, to show up for those spontaneous office hours where you can just chat and build those relationships, because you never know where it will take you.
Yes, indeed.
For sure. All right. So we have some Kohl's Center dance productions that we're just going to put on your radar because they're super exciting stuff. So all of these that we're about to list off will be performed in person and also offered virtually in March. So there's a ways away. We'll remind you again, but Penelope Free will be a creator and performer in Bring It Down Under Your Feet. And she is a really lovely ballet teacher at Xenon. If you know what Xenon is, it's downtown on a level of the Kohl's Center. And she does a really, really great class. Darius Strong will also have a show in March called Hybrid. And Barrett Algren will have a show called Give Ear. So look out for those. Also, shout out to Carl Flink and his company Black Label Movement for their TEDx performance.
Yes.
It was gorgeous. And also shout out, y'all, I'm totally stealing these from the TED newsletter. Emily Rosenberg puts them together and they are amazing.
Yes, Emily, love them.
Yes. So they also shouted out Natalie Marola, senior BA student, who's amazing and just has the biggest heart. I love her so much. But she's doing a voice acting role in this food series, or in this voiceover series called Food People. And so it's an animated sitcom cooking show, yes please, about what foods are, where they come from, and how they can all work together to become part of a bigger recipe, which is so cute. Pop off, Natalie.
All right. And so the Tech and Design BA will be doing an equity, diversity, and inclusion workshop with H. Adam Harris, y'all, just like the BFAs did. So hopefully the BA will be next, but that's going to be a super exciting thing. Make sure y'all, just like experience the vibes and be really excited for that. And then dancers, my favorites. Don't tell anybody else, but dancers are my favorites. Make sure y'all save the date for Saturday, November 14th. The DNC 3700 casting auditions will take place sometimes in the afternoon, and there will be more details to follow.
Beautiful. All right. So hopefully you're all caught up now after all of those updates.
Yes.
That's what we have for you. And for our interview today, we have the charismatic, the lovely, the tell it to you straight, Katie Willer.
Yes.
Who is the theater advisor for the BA.
Yeah. If y'all have not ever had a conversation with Katie, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to absolutely love Katie. Katie's one of my favorite people. So make sure that there's a link to her appointment calendar in the show notes. Make sure you check that out. Get yourself an appointment. She'll make sure that your whole schedule is right and that like you're not going to cry about, maybe not graduating. I'm subtweeting myself, but it's fine. It's fine. Make sure you check that out. All right. Well, here we go. Welcome, Katie.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Awesome. These are new, and they're giant.
They're gorgeous.
Or like they're really nice.
Well, Katie, thank you so much for joining us today for the
You got
pod.
it. You got it.
How are you doing today?
I don't know.
That's
It's,
very
I mean,
fair.
well, it's so, you're so accustomed to answering, oh, I'm fine, or I'm great. It's like, I'm present and available. That's
Hey,
about it.
sometimes it's all you can ask for right now.
Very true.
And you're at home right now, so you're not in Rarig at all this semester. Is that right?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Sad face.
The university is not allowing you to work on campus if you don't have to. And I definitely don't. I've been more productive at home. So it's actually, it's a little worrying for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Well, I mean, because if you don't have to come to campus, everybody in Rarig is like, there's this room over there and it has windows. We should go rehearse in it. And there goes my office.
And there it goes. Okay, speaking of, I have so many questions for you because I feel like you know so many secrets and answers and like little tidbits.
Oh, man.
But,
Really?
okay.
Question.
Is this like history of the fight for space? Like, has it always been like this? Like, even when you were a student here?
Oh, it was worse when it was a lot worse, actually, when I was a student. A lot worse. So harken back to a time, kiddies. So I was a student when the BFA first started. I was a junior in their first year. So that was the first year that they had, and like they did anything. And at the time we didn't have 630 or Studio A. I don't know what they were, but they weren't ours. So we only had 10 and 20 and what was the arena and both the larger theaters and the X. So that's all we had. And the X at night was entirely the experimental theater. And we actually did have a lot more classes in the theaters than you guys do because we didn't use the proscenium for the scene shop at all. But when the BFA first started, the man who ran it, was hired to run it, he only ran it for a couple of years. He refused to let BAs use BFA spaces. So we lost 10 and 20 to the BFA in its entirety for the first 2 years of me being, for them existing. So it was a lot worse because we didn't have additional spaces, and then we were just, there was such a divide at the outset of that program that it was pretty bad. But we also had over 300 students at the time in the BA.
Wow.
So that on top of it made space just really a horrible issue. So it's a very long-standing tradition, and theater people never have enough space.
Right.
Just ask anyone who stretches out their arms and just asks for space. So,
how many students do we have in the VA currently? Or I suppose previous to this year, what's been like the trend?
This year hasn't actually changed much yet. I imagine we will be feeling the impact of that a couple years down the road. I think students are going to be graduating early as a result of this. But we currently have about 150 declared majors. We have about 12 minors, and this one's really kind of hard to classify, but we probably have 15 individualized studies majors. So all told, probably about 180 declared students. But we have so many more students that aren't declared because we don't restrict our classes from anybody. If you've taken the prereqs, you're welcome to take the classes. And also students theater students have a tendency to declare a little earlier than a lot of other majors, but we don't have a lot of declared freshmen. So that population we never are able to count. So It's a lot lower, but it's than it was when I was a student, but it's significantly higher than it's been. 2008 really kind of boned us for numbers.
Ooh.
Can I say boned? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course,
What,
do whatever you wish.
What like substantial happened in 2008 other than, because the only thing I think of when I hear 2008, like, you know, boning people was like the housing.
Right.
So I'm like,
That's what I thought of too.
I don't know if
it's just occurring to me now that you guys were like, what, 10 back
I
then?
was 8, yeah.
We were both 8.
I'm sorry, this interview's over. So in 2008 was the beginning of the Great Recession. So students just did like, and I'm a little worried about that happening now, to be honest. But if you go into an industry that is historically low income, and when the recession hit, it just really truly impacted people. And parents who had been saving money for their students' college education were losing it like crazy. So telling your students to go into theater seemed incredibly irresponsible for people who didn't understand what it could do for you. So there was a lot of heavy lifting in the recruitment elements around that time. But it was, for the years after that, I mean, the numbers just really, they didn't tank. You're always going to get students that are interested in the humanities in general. But it really we took a pretty significant hit.
Does the university I'm assuming budgets get affected too when that happens too? I mean, because right now that's happening, right? Where we just have less to work with. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We're trying to keep that off your plate as much as possible, though.
Oh, gosh. Well, I don't hear any of it.
Well, there's transparency and then there's panic inducing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, we're still able to function. The university, the one thing I think they're doing really well is trying to cut where it will have the least impact, and then before they start eroding things that you will notice. So I mean, we took a couple of cuts to budgets that we are able to work around because of the way that we're structured. So you might not necessarily notice the difference, but we're not able to replace people. So you might notice that all of the staff mostly the staff look like deer in headlights because we're down 4 employees right now in our department. So it's stuff like that. But at the moment, it's not coming to a student level. That's the one thing I think the university did really well is they know what they're valuing, and it's the student experience. So they're trying to keep that as intact as possible.
For sure, that definitely makes a lot of sense, you know, especially with thinking about like Queen Amy Esposito, you know, her position.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the one nice thing is that if that's a job that you can't necessarily replace, a year where you're not really having a lot of traditional shows, it kind of works.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I miss me some Amy. But I miss Lydia's position 80,000 times more than I miss Amy right now. Because that's nailing us in the head. It's really bad.
Shoot.
So
was this a budget cut thing too? So we've been in stage check right now. We're talking a lot about the showboat and how cool it was. And so why did that go away? Is that another secret? Is that another?
Oh, it's now it's sort of a matter of lore. It's like, why should I tell you? You guys can just talk about it behind everybody's backs.
That's true.
It's not necessarily a budget. It's just I think there's 100 reasons the showboat is gone. I think the biggest one, if I'm being uncharitable, is that it was just a drain. It took everybody's energy, like especially all the design tech people, they were building the showboat from, you know, the Christmas break through, winter break, into the summer. It costs an exorbitant amount of money. And then on top of it, it was really like, it had some problematic background. I mean, and this is sort of me speaking a little bit out of turn, but we don't really do vaudeville in the department as a matter of course. So the students weren't necessarily trained to do it. And then there's all this other stuff. But for the most part, it's like there's a lot of problematic history to that format as well. And, you know, if you're not training the students to do this particular format, why is so much energy going in that direction? So it was, I was also a student when it started up again. So I remember all of that, which was fun.
Did you do a show?
Oh, hell no. No. Are you kidding? Dancing and singing and no.
What?
But I do remember when it burnt down. So,
what?
Oh yeah, the year the showboat was set to reopen, it burnt to the hull, and they had to rebuild it. Mm-hmm. So the only original part of the showboat is the hull.
Whoa!
Because it just
that is some lore.
Well, I mean, that's a Lance Brockman original for you. But it's, I mean, everybody's got their reasons, but these are really the main ones as to why that kind of went away. I mean, if like just using dance as an analogy, if you've got an entire program that's based only in modern dance and you've got this one show you do every year that is only tap, like,
oh my gosh.
I mean, and it takes all of your money and all of your time. So it's a little bit, it's one of those things.
Got it. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Could y'all explain the showboat for those, me, who like kind of know what it is, but like I'm not fully there with it?
Sure. Its initial intention, and I do say that specifically, was that it was melodrama with oleos, which are little scene breaks that are songs and dances, like silly tongue-in-cheek. You've seen pictures all over the place of people dressed as ketchup bottles or a giant banana.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are all from oleos, but they're completely unrelated to the melodrama. But when you've got a program in classical acting and devised in collaborative theater, where is melodrama? So, and then on top of that, I'd say about 4 or 5 years before it kind of went away, one of the directors that we had, who was a former teaching staff, didn't want to do a melodrama, so he did something completely different and only cast BFAs, and everything kind of it did this, and then it never kind of went back up as far as interest and audience and everything. So I don't have the details on that, though. I just worked here at the time. I wasn't in charge of anything. So I was like, okay.
Dang. It's so interesting to hear kind of these foundational events that seem to even continue like leaking into the present moment of like that great divide between BA, BFA. Like even when you mentioned 10 and 20, like being totally cut off, that's crazy. Wow.
Well, and that is absolutely not the way that it is anymore. I'm actually kind of interested in what you just said about, do you still feel like there's a great divide?
You know what? Like coming in as a freshman 2.5 years ago, I've seen it kind of change before my eyes, really. I mean, in slow but big steps, really. And that's such a big goal of the peers group this year too, is to continue like building those bridges between programs and kind of releasing that toxicity that sometimes still lingers around, because there's no need for it. I mean, we're all here we're all artists, we're all doing beautiful work. Granted, it's very different work, but it's still, I mean, we don't really need to be playing this value game anymore, you know.
That kind of bums me out
Yeah.
to know that that's still happening.
Yeah, I feel like, but no, I feel like Kira is definitely right. I mean, I think even the transition from my freshman year to Kira is like, that was intense. Just to, like, I remember like seeing y'all and y'all were like vibing with them immediately more so, and like it was very much so like, I remember like it was very much so we would like all wave to each other, but then awkwardly like
just shuffle off.
Yeah, like go different ways. It'd be like, all right, cool, like we're going into Laverne's, like, you know, Laverne's fundamentals, and all of a sudden we leave and they're like in the middle of their one of their dance classes, and we're like, oh cool. Or we see them like messing around with swords and we're like, we want swords. And then we just kind of like,
I'm giving you swords. I'm giving you swords.
Yes.
Trying.
Yes. But you know, I think it was, I think you know, I think there's this at least when I first came in, there was this like idea where like it was almost like, I know a lot of people in my year like auditioned to be in the BFA, and it definitely felt like it was kind of like a, like the BA is the leftovers of the BFA. I think that sort of, you know, attitude and sort of like context that we had, I think that's gone away as much, because I think we're, especially now for me, like I never wanted to be in the BFA. I never auditioned for anything like that, and like I think there's just like a culture change of realizing like what we actually can do in the BA and how that like changes and has a completely different path of like, you know, what that can be.
The thing that I want to say about this whole situation, because it keeps coming back around, like just when you think that it might stop doing that, and I do think that Aaron Todd Douglas is going to be a pinnacle of like making this not, that culture not be there. But it's not coming from the above. You know, a lot of times when we first started, like, or when the BFA first started, that was coming from the director of the program. He did not want the mixing. He wanted this group of students to feel like they were superior. And he was kind of ticked off that because there was only 20 of them at the time, they were all like, we're going to be friends with these people over here. And then they blended on their own. So there's nothing I really can do to help somebody feeling like they got the leftovers if they're a BA student, because for us, it's so distinct. It's so different. It's a completely different way to learn. It's a completely different way to engage in college. So I also don't completely understand somebody who auditions for the BFA and then joins the BA. They can get, like, they can find some of that traditional stuff, but it's just not what we do. So we're not conservatory style. We are, if you want to learn theater, we want to teach it to you kind of a program. So it's, if you're interested in a BFA, I don't know why you'd ever take our BA. I mean, I'm glad people do, because I personally feel like people need that expansive training as well. It's just a completely different format. So, I mean, I really hope at some point people start seeing them as two distinct experiences that, and I think that once you get here and get your feet wet, it's easier to do that, but it's just, there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah.
Because we're not willing to make people audition to be a BA. It's just not the way it's going to be. And that's, I think that there's just this like select feeling that comes from a younger mindset that it's like, grow out of it, guys.
Yeah.
I think it comes a lot from like, you know, like high school theater programs where like, I mean, my high school theater program was like, I don't want to say toxic because that feels mean, but also that's the word in which it's coming to my head. so, but you know, it was this very, very, like separated thing where it felt like it was like the leads are over here. And then you have the ensemble who are living their best life, but just not the leads. And I think there's a lot of that sort of like the type of people, you know, that go into theater in college, like, you know, they want to be selected. They want to be like this. And I feel like, you know, you're right. Like this program, like the BA program is not at all a conservatory whatsoever. It's very chill. It's honestly like very research focused, which I think is very cool. Which makes sense for this university being a research university. Pop off. Love that. But I do understand that. I never really like thought about how honestly it is a little weird if you wanted to like be in a BFA specifically and then like hopping into the BA program. It's just not, it really is not the same at all of like what you would even remotely be doing.
I mean, initially the BA program was a lot more traditional. The one that I went through was, I think the physical approaches class was new in like 2000 maybe. I took it from Carrie Margolis.
Wow.
She was here?
Yeah.
I didn't know she taught here.
I didn't know that either. That's kind of huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I have an anecdotal story that if anybody ever wants to hear it, they can just ask me in a meeting. I'll tell them. But no, Carrie is a pretty spectacular human being. But yeah, she was brought in by Kent Stevens, who was Laverne's predecessor. So.
That's funny because you have like we know Laverne and Kim, but then you know like Kent and Carrie. That's lovely. That's fun.
That now, in my defense, all of that changeover happened in the like window where I had nothing to do with the department. So there's a 5-year window. Other than that, my entire adult experience is tied to this. Oh God, I need to get a new job.
No.
We love you here though. Like seriously. I always feel so much better about whatever, like after leaving your office, honestly. Like I just appreciate you.
I really appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
I just remember freaking out in the summer because I sat there and I was like, what if I just didn't graduate? Like what like what if I'm missing something? Like I probably am. And then I popped in and you're like, so yeah, you are missing something. You almost didn't. I was like, oh, perfect.
I'm known for being tactful and subtle.
Oh, it's great. I needed it because I was so nervous. I was like, I don't know. I remember I literally the first words were like, hi, I just want to like graduate. Like, how do I do that? And like, what?
Sit.
Like, let's go.
Yay.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay, also, I'm curious. So I didn't get the chance to go to Dublin in my time here, which is very sad. And so Dublin's not happening this spring, right, either? No. But you've been to Dublin, like, with the program, right?
Yes. I went I went a year. Oh, Jesus. Was it a year and a half ago now? Oh, my God. When did I go? Yeah, it was a year and a half ago.
That's gorgeous. Man, can you, for all of our listeners who maybe don't know what that is or aren't a part of the BA, kind of give a rundown of what that looks like? Yeah.
The Dublin program was created by the department in partnership with Shona, who's our representative over in Dublin, the Learning Abroad program, or the Learning Abroad Center, and the Gaiety School of Acting. So it is entirely crafted by our faculty and our partners to be a program that specifically caters to our students. And I do mean our students. It's not just for our performance students. It can go for any of our students. But it's going to be, we're going to be having some changes over the next year or so, which is part of the reason why it's not running in the spring. The other reason is, death over the entire world. But there are 6 different classes that have been specifically created with our students in mind. And one of them is called Emerging Ireland. It's a historical based course. It's very cool. And then there's the performance class, an internship class, a film and literature class, a storytelling class, and a playwriting class. And the playwriting class is writing intensive. So that counts as your writing intensive within the major for any student who ever wants to go. And they cover a lot of they cover electives. The internship class covers a 4380 for performance students. They the performance class covers BAM, a section of BAM for our performance students as well. But all of these classes also count towards the design tech or the history lit majors as well as the social justice or generalist, like any of our majors can go. So I think it's actually a really cool, it's a very cool program and very different from my study abroad in Dublin, which was different, very different, incredibly different.
That's so cool because it's almost like you don't have to worry about like quote unquote like taking a semester off to like go study abroad. It's like you're still totally contributing to that degree completion.
Well, the thing about it is, and if we could figure out how to do this, and we've been talking about it, it's so not a semester off in quotey fingers. Mm-hmm. It is integral to the program. So there has been talk, and we might actually end up doing this, that it is required for performance students.
Wow.
And if you don't want to go, then you can't be a performance student.
Wow.
Whoa.
So kind of like the London deal with the BFAs. Oh, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah. With some flexibility insofar as you could go sophomore, junior, or senior year, like it wouldn't necessarily matter. But we've been talking about it for ages, and I think that there's a push. There was a push last spring before COVID hit that was something we were going to start working toward. And now, for obvious reasons, it's sort of taken a bit of a back seat at the moment. But that is the plan as well, is to make that a cornerstone to the program.
Interesting.
It's really cool.
That. Yeah, I really like that.
The program itself is incredible. I'm going to admit what a lot of people probably feel is that seeing just what the classes are and knowing how that they meet on a European schedule, so they only meet once a week, that there's that's the way that they have. That was how both my study abroad and my master's program, they're all once a week. They're very research heavy. They expect you to do a lot of work outside of class. So that feels like that might not be exactly, like fulfilling in some way. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, I sat in every class that semester, and I got to take one of the weekends away to Northern Ireland with everybody, which I had never been to Belfast. So it was, it's really a remarkable program.
I really enjoy that. That's really fun.
Yeah, you should go. Yeah, I suppose you can't, but I'm a little upset you're not wearing that crown in the background, by the way.
Do you want,
yeah.
It's always an arm's length away.
Of course it is. That is thank you.
Beautiful.
Now I feel better.
I got you.
Gorgeous. John, is it heavy? Is it like heavy on your head?
Yes, it is. Yes. It's like metal. Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel... Like, because they put it on, and I was like, oh, like, this is super cute, plastic. But I was like, no, this is, like, metal.
You've heard the cliche, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I have.
Thank you.
It immediately came into my head. as they put it on, and I was like, oh no. Like, I get it now. It's not just an idiom. It's real.
Well, it's very picturesque. I love it. I'm a little upset I don't have one, to be honest.
I have two. The other one is just like, this is like my prom king one, though. Yeah. That's a whole story.
You had a roll of toilet paper in your hand, and I thought that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So did I. I was like, is that like a unicorn horn? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
The COVID crown, I suppose.
Right, no. Actually.
Roll of toilet paper.
Interesting. Honestly, I can make a crown of it. I'll talk to Chelsea. Chelsea, how do I make a crown on my toilet paper rolls?
If anyone would know.
Yeah.
Chelsea's it, man. Okay, Katie, also I have to tell you that I watched so John and anyone else who doesn't know, Katie is part of a web series called Theater People, done by Matt Anderson, who teaches acting for the camera here at the U. And I watched the final episode of the 4th season, and this is my OMG moment. And so what happens? Okay, first of all, Katie's like absolutely hilarious in the show. And
Thank you.
it's so fun to watch you as this like stage manager who's just like kind of just like cynical in some ways. It's so funny. I can't remember what episode it is, but the one where you're telling these like young college theater kids all of the side jobs.
The episode is called Something to Fall Back On.
Yeah. Do you remember any of those side jobs? Because they're like so hilarious.
I think one of them was that I was stand-in for the animatronic band at the Chuck E. Cheese. I think I was Tina Fey impersonator on Hollywood Boulevard. Matt, I don't know if he told you this, but Matt wrote that character as himself when he first wrote the show, season 1. So it was really easy for me. I'm like, this isn't acting. This is how Matt would say it. So sometimes I was just like, there's no way I'm going to get your voice. Just say it to me. I'll say it back that way. So, I mean, the character has definitely evolved, but when he first wrote it, it's all of that cynicism is straight Matt Anderson. God bless him.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Well, I enjoyed it so much. Like the final episode, sorry, this is a total spoiler. Anyone who wants to watch it, watch it. It's a free web series. I know. Okay, John's covering you here. Okay, I won't spoil it then. But so it's
probably better that you don't. It's actually a really good joke.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Okay.
Kira, don't do it.
I won't do it. But I'll tell you where to find the web series. So it's on Seeker, right? It's like a Seeka. Okay. Seeka. You can also look up theater people, and there'll be a link on their website, and we'll bring you there.
I'll put it in my signature line in my emails for a little while, and if anybody wants to find it that way.
Yes, please.
Just below my appointment link.
It's like audition for HECUBA theater people.
Hey, straight up, that might actually work.
Honestly, yeah.
Dang. Okay, Katie, we have one final question for you. Thank you so much again. This is so great. No okay, this is the question. John, do you want to do this week?
Oh, this is the question in which... Sorry.
What is happening?
This is the question we ask everyone. It's our... I don't know what the word for our consecutive question. We'll come up for a better title, but
okay.
We just want to ask, why theater?
I mean, I suppose the trite answer is the one that everybody always tells you when you're in high school, which is if you can think of doing anything else, do that instead. So it's just basically I didn't have any better ideas.
Total honesty. I love that here.
I love it.
You know, I could probably just leave it at that, or it could wax philosophical at some point. But I mean, it's just for the same reason everybody else does, because it's the only thing that makes sense.
Word.
Fair. That's very fair.
I am as cynical as my character in theater. So.
That's great. Now people are going to have to check it out because they're going to be too curious to not to.
I don't necessarily shout that show from the rooftops in this department. I don't know why I don't do that. I mean, it's right up everybody's alley. But one of Lisa's kids is in that show.
Actually?
Mm-hmm. Daniel.
That's fun.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea.
Oh yeah. And we shot the first episode of he's calling it a pilot, so he's sort of like reinventing the show. And it's basically the Laverne Seifert show, and it's my favorite thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Oh yeah. I feel so upstaged by Laverne in that one. Great, thank you.
That's not even your fault. That's not even, how do you not feel staged by Laverne? He just lives his best life, and I'm like, go ahead.
He was and on top of that, he was just awesome to work with that day. It was so much fun. So anyway, sidebar.
Cool. What a talented crew we have here.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Damn right.
So lucky.
Awesome.
Well, have a great Great rest of your day.
Yeah,
Rest of
you
your
too.
week.
Thank you for popping up. This was super fun.
Yeah, anytime. I do have lots of secrets up there, so just ask the right question and you'll get the answer to it.
Wait though. Real quick. You were talking about how you're bringing us swords to the BA. Are there some new classes popping up?
No, that's just what I mean about BA Masterclass.
No.
Like
Yes.
I have that I feel like is a fun brainstorm every semester. So that's what I mean by that. It's just like making it more of a repeating thing.
I see. Also, if you're still brainstorming, can you brainstorm around a theater management course? I've been talking about a theater management course.
No,
wait.
There's one in the spring.
You're so joking.
No, why would I lie about that?
You're like you're what?
Party.
For those of you who can't see what I'm doing, I'm dancing. Okay, so there was a theater management course ages and eons ago, and the woman who taught it they moved away. So it just kind of went defunct, and I have been talking about bringing it back, and Erin Todd Douglas's wife is kind of a mover and shaker in arts management in Chicago, or was. And so when they moved up here, I approached her about teaching that class. So that's actually one of my little baby projects, is resurrecting the arts management class. So, and I got Amy on board before she left, and so the two of us were kind of like brainstorming, and it's coming back. It's making its way through the bureaucratic nonsense right now, which is why it's not on the class schedule, but it will be Mondays and Wednesdays from 11:15 to 1:10, and it's entirely online.
It's so real.
Okay, wait, Kira, I've been talking about this every single rep meeting, every single literally possible time in the season selection committee. I've been like, theater management course? Like, could we just, what if we had a theater management course? I was like, I just want to learn how to produce and like do like audience services and all this stuff, because I used to work with Amy all the time. I'm way too excited right now. This is like my new life.
Would you love me a lot if I sent you the syllabus?
Yes.
Oh,
I would actually probably cry.
Let me see if I can find it. I can put it in oh, look at that. Look at that there.
It's right here. We can see it. Oh my gosh.
The way I'm shook right now. The way I'm absolutely... What?
I accept chocolate.
There will be
No, I actually am extremely proud of this. And her name's Annie Douglas, and she's an amazing person. She's also teaching one of the sections of BAM in the spring. She's teaching a teaching artistry BAM. So she's going to be teaching people how to become workshop leaders and teaching artists, which I think is going to be really great. And she's going to be teaching this arts management class for us. So,
on.
I'm so excited. This looks absolutely gorgeous. I know,
right?
I'm so... Ooh, there's a whole...
You're welcome.
See, this is perfect. Katie and I, we're connected. You knew exactly before I knew. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you want to know about the class schedule? I could tell you anything you want.
Yeah, actually, I do have a question. No, for real. Because I went to go register and I was like, wait, it's gone. But the Global Avant-Garde.
Global Avant-Garde is not being taught this semester because Sonali is on sabbatical.
That breaks my heart.
However, Talvin is back teaching Blacks in American Theater. So
which I need to graduate with a fire and afro.
Oh, and also, if that matters, John, they're supposedly cross-listing it so that you might be able to actually get a seat with that call sign.
Boom.
The way my whole future just lined up in this last 10 minutes.
I feel like
That's
somehow
okay.
you owe me a big favor now, John.
No, I do. No, I got you. I literally have you.
Actually, Katie, I have one more selfish question.
It's fine.
Are practicums happening next semester?
Yes.
Okay, like in the shops? Question mark?
Okay, so the way that practicum exists is because the main stage shows are listed as creative collabs because they aren't going to be shows in the same way that they would be otherwise. There are some ways that people can work on those shows, and they're not making people who are working on them sign up for creative collabs. They're signing up for 3100. For anybody we can't get in to work on those shows for whatever reason, they're going to be working on coming up with specific projects so people can still have an academic learning opportunity, and because waiving it again was just a non-starter, wasn't going to do that. Because there are people who need them to graduate. So that's the plan. Oh, believe me, I know who you are.
Sorry. I totally left them for the last 2 semesters of my collegiate career.
Yeah, so basically everybody who has to take a practicum, blame Kira, because that's why we're doing that.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, it's like we can't graduate people without their full educational experience, so they need at least one, and I wasn't going to waive an entire year. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Honestly, I was planning on it.
So there's only one section, so everybody's registering for the same section, and you'll get communicated with by the design tech team, the different directors. There's opportunities available. It's just not going to be the standard practice. I mean, for one thing, it's like if COVID really explodes, we're not going to want people in the shops, and that's kind of why we didn't do it this semester. So, so yes. However, for those of you who haven't taken stage technology yet, there is no lab on stage technology. So if you can get into it this semester, now's the time.
Yeah. Word.
I love how this has turned into an advising session because
I know.
I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait, though, can we just go through my full schedules to make sure that
make an appointment with me.
Appointment link, the link to her appointment calendar will be in our show notes. Just if you need any help, go ahead and click that.
Probably a good call.
I think that
please, by all means. I mean, and honestly, if you want to go through your schedule, that's cool. And if you just need someone to rant at, that's also fine.
I love that.
I was calling them rage appointments earlier this semester. Make yourself a rage appointment. So awesome.
Gorgeous.
I take it you're looking at the syllabus, John.
I am. This is the amount of fun which I am currently having is far too much.
Your face.
I'm loving this.
Good. I'm glad.
Shiny eyes. So sweet.
Well, you're very welcome.
Literally for so long I've been talking about this.
I feel like I told you about that I was going to do this at one point. I feel like I did.
Maybe. I don't remember. I may have already asked you, and then all of a sudden it just like went out of my head when I was like, am I going to graduate? Because that made I think I lost all knowledge of my entire life when I was like, what if I don't graduate? And I was like, so, oops.
That is fine. But there you go. Those are my gifts to you.
Yeah. Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Gratefully accepted. Yes. Thank you.
All right, team. Do you need anything else from me today?
I think we're fine. That was perfect. Thank you so much for coming, Katie.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Anytime. Here for you guys.
Yes. All right. Well, goodbye. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You're
You
amazing.
too.
Goodbye, goodbye.
There will be chocolate. There will be
Oh,
chocolate.
Yeah,
Yes!
on your doorstep.
We
Damn
got
right.
you.
All right. Bye, team.
Bye. Welcome. Thank you, Katie, for popping off and living your best life with us. That's absolutely amazing. And now, y'all, we have some Pregos, Priggly, Wiggly, Sigglies
Some segments. For you. Oh, no. So for our artist profile of the week, we wanted to highlight Natasha Katz, who is a New York-based lighting designer. She is a 6-time Tony Award winner and also has designed extensively for opera and dance and concerts and permanent lighting installations around the world, in addition to all of her theater work. So some of her recent Broadway credits include Long Day's Journey into the Night, which she won a Tony for her lighting design, Cats, School of Rock, Frozen, The Prom, Hello Dolly, An American in Paris, also a Tony, Aladdin, Skylight, The Glass Menagerie, also a Tony, Once, another Tony, Follies, The Coast of Utopia, which again was a Tony, and then Aida, which was her very first Tony. So she's been on, honestly, so many other nomination lists since she started designing for Broadway in 1985 with the play Pack of Lies. And she's set to do the lighting for, now it's been pushed back to 2022, but the upcoming production of The Music Man with Sutton Foster and Hugh Jackman. So that's kind of neat. Yeah. There's a great American Theater Wing video on YouTube with her in it, as well as another lighting designer whose name I am not remembering, but it's a really cool video. Check it out if you're interested in that work. It's really cool. And so in one of her, actually this wasn't in an acceptance speech, but it was in like a red carpet speech that Playbill filmed. But she had some really cool things to say that I just wanted to share with you. So she said, "Live in the moment and work in the moment. Don't think about the future. Just constantly take in what you can learn from other people and from the experience that you're in. I worked as an intern for years before I worked as a lighting designer myself, and all I really did was watch other people and learn on-the-job training." So what an incredible, inspirational human. She's really just eloquent and has a great outlook on life and work in the theater. So really, if you're interested in theater in general, she's a great person to know and to check out. Her work's really cool. All right, and so for our student feature here at UMTAD, we have the beautiful Aubrey Clark here to share her life story. Not just kidding, not her life story, but her story here at UMTAD. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Aubrey. Hello.
Hi, my name is Aubrey Clark. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I am a dance BA. My favorite class right now is definitely Composition 3. This is my first time choreographing on other people in person, and it's so far been challenging but so fun. I'm working with 3 of my close friends on a really special work, and they are bringing my vision to life so beautifully. I can't thank them enough. Shout out to Sophia, Morgan, and Caitlin. Other than Comp 3, something that is bringing me joy in this moment was working with Pedro Pablo during the residency here for University Dance Theater the last 2 weeks. Working with them was such a pleasure, and my heart is bursting with joy and gratitude. We got to simulate touch through a magnificently built structure that we danced in, and I can't even describe how amazing it was to touch another person while dancing again, even if it was through plastic. I can't wait for you all to see the finished video in the near future. I'm so thankful to be back in the Barker dancing with everyone again, even if we have to stay 6 feet apart and sanitize our feet as we walk in the door. I just wanted to say let's make the most of these last 5 or so weeks before we're back online and finish the semester strong. Also, I'm now an official member of the Dance Peer Committee, so if any dance peeps have any comments, questions, or concerns, they can feel free to contact me or catch me at the Barker, and I can pass it along to our lovely dance peer, Hunter, or an appropriate faculty member. And if you're interested, you can follow me on Instagram at obsclark. Thank you so much for featuring me on the podcast.
Thank you, Aubrey. Popping off. So nice to meet you. All right. And this week's question for you all. What's the name of your favorite stuffed animal? I just want to know. I think they're so cute. Mine is it's a pink. She's a pink squishmallow. She's a bunny. Love bunnies. They're so cute. And she's so soft too. But her name is Rosewater. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
I currently don't have any stuffed animals in my apartment, but when I was a kid, I know, I'm so lame, but I had a little cat, like beanbag stuffed animal, and her name was Kitty, and it was my favorite.
I love that.
So creative.
All right, go ahead and let us know your names of your animals, and we would love to hear them. Maybe we'll give a shout out to our favorite next episode.
Oh my gosh, yes. Actually, let's do it.
See? Do it, right? Might as well. All right. So closing thoughts from you all. Vote. This is the last time for you to be reminded by us to do it early, y'all. So vote.
Yeah.
You gotta vote. Because the next one that's coming out is gonna be on voting day. So
yeah.
Vote. You can't listen to the next podcast if you haven't voted. How about that? Yeah.
And it's going to be a good one. We're not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you who's going to be here, but we're going to tell you that you're not going to want to miss it.
It's going to slap. So be prepared for that. All right. And Kira.
And for our wise words of the week, it is time, the moment we've all been waiting for, to hear John's words of wisdom. John, enlighten us.
Hey, y'all. It's John. You probably just heard my voice, so hello again. But my wise words for the week is for you all to find your crown. For me, I really like to just have crowns whenever I'm feeling sad. So whatever that looks like to you, maybe that's just like a yoga mat, you're feeling bad and you just want to go lay down on a yoga mat. Your crown could be, maybe it's like a corduroy jacket. We're talking circa 2006 Legally Blonde. Just go ahead and make sure you find your crown, whatever that may be for you all, because at the end of the day, your crown is your soul. Gotta love it.
This episode of the Peercast is edited by Rachel Breeze, programmed by Hunter Batterson and Caitlin McLean, and our music is composed by Raymond New.
This is a note to all those trying to get into the theater management course. If you register before November 12th, you will leave me a spot. If you see that there's one spot left, you will not take it. I will literally attack all of you. With love, John.
Okay.
Rachel, put that at the end.